Hey everyone, it's your girl Sam Law, president and founder of Young Hip Professionals Inc. Today we are presenting our July Influencer of the Month. I'm really proud and excited about this influencer. She is a Gen Zer or Zoomer, whichever term you prefer. Her name is Ariana Levin. She's a rising senior at Walt Whitman High School in Huntington Station. And her biggest passion in life is activism and justice for the Black community. And to exemplify her and what she did, I had the privilege this year of walking and being a co-sponsor of her Long Island Unity March that she held on Juneteenth. In case you don't know what Juneteenth is, Juneteenth was the last day of the emancipation of slaves in Texas. And Texas was basically like the holdout state to emancipate slaves. So on that day, which is June 19th, we celebrate that, which is a big, big, major deal for the African American community. And one of the things that was really powerful about Ariana's march is that it took place from Amityville Memorial High School to Cedar Creek Park. It was about 6 miles round trip, right? Yeah. I did the first stretch. I did not make it the full 6 miles, but just to bring some insight on that area, Amityville is a mixed, diverse area. The high school itself is predominantly African American. The school board just so happens to be run by predominantly Caucasian people. Seaford is predominantly Caucasian school district. And it just sort of unified and gelled those two communities by walking from this area that's predominantly African American to a predominantly Caucasian American town. It was just powerful. It was so diverse. It was people of all walks of life, all ages, all colors, all creeds. And I mean, it was, I never felt anything like it. The energy was just amazing. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you. So you're welcome. So let's get right into it. So I have some questions for you. And my first question is, which people or books have had the most influence on your growth and why?
I guess the generic answer to say is my mom. But, it's definitely the most honest answer. Her activism that she's done ever since I was born has definitely shown me the way and shown me that, I can do anything that I set my mind to. And so she's also giving me the strength and courage to actually proceed and follow my passions with activism and justice.
Oh, that's awesome. I know your mom. Your mom inspires me daily. Shout out to Shaniqua, the founder of Women's Diversity Network. She's an inspiration. She really keeps us all going. I think if you want to meet her, she's lighting a fire under your butt, and so that's powerful. And I can
Once you meet
see
her, she has you doing 10 different things that you didn't even know you could do.
that is true. I definitely am going through that now with her, but it's been amazing from the time I met her last year till now. It has been an amazing journey, and I've been exposed to so many different things. I honestly can't imagine life without her now. So I know it has to be pretty awesome for you. All right. So my next question is, what inspired you to host a Juneteenth march?
So mainly my friends, they've always been so supportive of me with all of the work that I do within my school and my African American Heritage Club. I'm the president of that now. And so they've always been so supportive of everything that I've aspired to do. And so mainly when I first created the march, I knew that, the people, if no one was going to be there, not a single person, I knew that my friends would be the ones to show up.
Wow. Wow. And it had how many people?
Over 500 people attended.
Right. How did you feel about the turnout? Were you expecting it to be as large as it was?
I definitely was not, to begin with. You know, when I had first started creating the march, I was like, okay, you know, we have a bunch of co-sponsors, but, you know, I didn't really expect it to be as big as it was going to be. And, you know, then Nice 12 started contacting me, and I was like, okay, you know, this is going to be a lot bigger than what I expected. And the actual turnout throughout the entire event was amazing.
That's awesome. How did you feel after it was all said and done?
It was a relief, a sigh of relief, you know, but it was also, it showed me that, you know, you don't have to be young. I mean, you don't have to be older to, you know, put something this big on. And I felt like a sense of pride in Long Island.
It definitely was a powerful and deeply impactful moment. And you put a lot into setting it up. You know, you had us on Zoom meetings and then breaking down. We took everything and broke it down bit by bit. So to see it all come together so eloquently and powerful was dope. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was dope. I'm just gonna say it again. I'm so proud. It was inspiring. And with that in mind, what advice would you give other Gen Z or Zoomers looking to get involved in social advocacy?
I'd say with everything that's going on in the Black community, as of right now, with police brutality and, you know, blatant racism across the country, we see so many adults and people older than us taking action and creating these marches and creating these petitions and talking to lawmakers, you know, but it definitely takes Gen Z and people younger than me to make the change, because at the end of the day, it is going to be our future. And we don't want to sit around here and wait for every single adult to make decisions for us when, you know, this is happening to us right now and it's going to be happening to us in the future. So definitely, if there's, you know, social advocacy or you see something that you want to be changed, you have to go out there and change it yourself. You know, you can't wait for adults to do that for you.
I totally agree. You guys are, after my generation, you're next up to lead, and seeing that and seeing, you know, you and your friends put it together and speak and just be so involved. It makes me feel hopeful, especially I have a child your age. It makes me feel hopeful that, you know, America is in good hands in the future. And then I'm really just not, I don't want to say shocked, but it just was, I guess, like magical to see young people just really take the reins on something like this, especially on a holiday that's not widely publicized, and people just seem to learn about it in the wake of, you know, George Floyd's death, Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. Rest in peace to them. It just seems like so many people outside of the African American community were like, "Oh, what is Juneteenth? We don't know what this is." But seeing 500 people come through and celebrate
Yes.
it was everything. It was everything. So, do you have any other projects or events for us to keep our eyes open for?
Well, now we've started the planning for the next march on Juneteenth for next year. So that's definitely something to make sure you look out for. It's going to be a lot bigger and better. It's going to be sort of like a parade with the same theme of it being a march from point A to point B with a few stops in between. And I'm definitely going to be doing a few protests and rallies throughout the way. I am going into my senior year, so there's going to be a lot, you know, happening at once, but I'm definitely never going to stop working on advocacy for the Black community.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. So, how can people reach you if they wanted to follow your journey?
So the march has our own Instagram at Long Island Unity March. And to follow for immediate updates or anything, you can follow me on Instagram at ariana.levin.
Nice. All right, guys, you heard it here first. If you weren't able to be at the march and get to meet Ariana, you can find her on IG at ariana.levin. Where, again, Young Hip Professionals is so proud to showcase you and show other Gen Zers that there is inspiration in their generation, and that they can grab the bull by the reins and get out there and get to work in their communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.